let's go ahead and get started. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about DiGeorge syndrome. By the end of this video, you will completely understand what the disease is, what causes DiGeorge syndrome, key clinical presentation, some mnemonics to make the disease easier to remember, diagnosis, treatment, and also USMLE practice questions to help solidify your knowledge for the long term. Be sure to check out thehealingpowerofnature.com and also our Patreon for some of the best materials on the market. DiGeorge syndrome is the developmental failure of the third and fourth pharyngeal pouches. Why does it happen? Basically, a small piece of chromosome 22q11.2 is missing. A microdeletion is when a small part of the chromosome is missing. Remember, a chromosome contains all the instruction for how the body is to be built and how it works. Every human cell has 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs. These chromosomes are made of DNA, which carry genes. It's the instructions for making everything in the body. You get half from your mom and half from your dad. When it comes to DiGeorge syndrome, a piece of the chromosome 22, specifically 22q11.2, is deleted, which leads to missing genes that are important for immune system, calcium regulation, and heart development. It's random mistake during baby formation, so it's de novo mutation in 90% of cases. De novo means that it's new or from the beginning. So in genetics, a de novo mutation is a genetic change that happens when the first time the person is born, meaning it was not inherited from their parents but occurred randomly during sperm or egg formation. Most cases of DiGeorge syndrome happen by chance when the sperm or egg is forming. No parent has it, but the baby is born with the 22q11.2 deletion due to a mistake in copying DNA. So what goes wrong? The third and fourth pharyngeal pouches don't develop properly. Imagine we're building a house, the developing fetus, and the pharyngeal pouches are like different construction teams, each with a specific job. First and second pouches already finished their jobs, making ear structures and tonsils. Third and fourth pouches, they're supposed to make important immune and endocrine organs, but DiGeorge syndrome, they don't show up for work. So what should the third and fourth pharyngeal pouch do? The third pharyngeal pouch forms the thymus, where T cells mature, so immune defense, the inferior parathyroid glands, which control calcium levels. The fourth pharyngeal pouch forms the superior parathyroid glands that also help regulate calcium. The key idea here is that if these pouches fail to develop, the baby is born without a thymus, or a weak immune system, and without parathyroid glands, so low calcium. A good way to remember DiGeorge syndrome is with the mnemonic catch-22. The way I remember this personally is I caught George when I was 22, but easier, catch-22. Catch-22 stands for cardiac defects, abnormal facies, thymic hypoplasia, cleft palate, hypocalcemia, and a 22q11.2 deletion. This is an easy way to remember DiGeorge syndrome. So thymic aplasia, the thymus doesn't grow with T-cell maturation defects. The presentation is usually recurrent viral, fungal, and protozoal infections, which are opportunistic infections similar to SCID. Absence of the thymic shadow on an X-ray. There's also going to be hypocalcemia because parathyroid hypoplasia. So the mechanisms is parathyroid gland fails to develop with a decrease in PTH and a decrease in serum calcium. The presentation is usually neonatal, tetany, seizures, and muscle spasms. Also, congenital heart defects, most commonly Truncus arteriosus, so single outflow tract from the heart, and interrupted aortic arch, so severe obstruction of blood flow. Also, there'll be facial abnormalities, low set ears, cleft palate, small jaw. The diagnosis can be used with FISH. So basically, the microdeletion can't be seen. What they do is they use fluorescence to detect the 22q11.2 deletion. You can also use a complete blood count and flow cytometry to see if there's a decrease in T cells because of thymus aplasia, serum calcium / parathyroid hormone. There'll be hypocalcemia with a decreased parathyroid hormone. Also, an echocardiogram detects congenital heart defects. The treatment: calcium and vitamin D supplementation to prevent hypocalcemic tetany, thymic transplantation for severe T cell deficiency, hematopoietic stem cell transplants if severe immunodeficiency, and surgical repair of cardiac defects. So let's go ahead and jump into a couple questions. What I will always tell you to do is read the last sentence first, then read your options, then read the entire question. So I'll give you a few minutes to review this question, then we'll come back. So the correct answer was B, a defective migration of neural crest cells. So this patient has DiGeorge syndrome, which is a 22q11.2 deletion syndrome, which is caused by defective neural crest migration during embryonic development. The third and fourth pharyngeal pouches failed to develop. leading to thymic hypoplasia, parathyroid hypoplasia, congenital heart defects, and craniofacial abnormalities. Let's go on to the next question. I'll give you a few minutes and then we'll come back and review the question. So the correct answer was C, fluorescence in situ hybridization, or FISH. Remember that the microdeletion cannot be seen on a normal microscope. So what they do is they use fluorescence. The child has DiGeorge syndrome with a diagnosis using FISH, a test that detects the 22q11.2 microdeletion. The key findings will be recurrent viral and fungal infections because of a T-cell deficiency, facial abnormalities, and absent thymic shadow on an X-ray. Last question, I'll give you a few minutes, then we'll come back and review this question. The correct answer was B. Remember, DiGeorge syndrome follows an autosomal dominant inheritance pattern, meaning only one copy of the mutated chromosome is enough to cause a disease. However, 90% of cases are de novo mutations, new mutations are not inherited, and 10% of the cases are inherited from an infected parent. So that concludes our video for today. Thank you very much. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe, and also check out thehealingpowerofnature.com and also our Patreon. Thank you very much. See you next time.